Hello, Venmo Carmona here. Quick little video for all you mask makers. I just want to share a few little tips that I've learned, and I just wanted to correct a couple of things from my previous videos and clarify a couple of details and share just a few little tips. The interfacing that we put inside of the mask, you want to avoid putting pins in the center of the mask. I made that mistake in the last video thinking, well, for those people who have a hard time holding the pleats, maybe I should show them how they can put the pins in the middle. I wish I didn't do that. I wish that wasn't in the video. But try not to. I mean, you may get some pins around the outside edges. There is a way to do it so don't get any pins at all. But if it's on the outside edges, that's fine because it's above the nose and around here and under here. But where you want to protect the nose and the mouth area, so do not put pins in the center of your mask. That's one clarification and correction I wanted to make from my last video. Here's a way to avoid putting pins in your mask. So I'm going to put my elastic on, and I'm using a hair band. Place it on here without pins. Small stitching. And this way I can get my elastic on without using pins. And I also have my interfacing on the back here, so I will do that, get my elastic on, that way I don't have to use pins. Need to get me some of those wonder clips. I just heard about them. I saw one person on YouTube using them and I thought, oh, those are cool, I've never seen those before. So I'm gonna have to look for some, because that would be useful. Notice how I back stitch over both ends. It gives me a little bit more secure. When you are going over a very thick surface, like I'm using the hair bands, don't go fast. You'll be more likely to break your thread. Go slow. Okay, I have my elastic on without using pins. Now I put the other side, right sides together. Whoops, it's a very light colored fabric. And I'm not going to use pins. I'm just going to sew it on and hold everything together. So I put it together without poking any holes in the fabric. Now there's only one thing else I have to figure out, and that is putting the nose part. And actually I'm going to get some different kind of nose wires from an organization that provides them for masks, and I don't know when they're going to get here, but they're going to send me some for free. I'm not sure how they get attached. I guess when I get them, I'll have to make a video and show you how it's done. When you iron your pleats, it's a whole lot easier to hold them in place. I just find whenever I'm sewing anything, ironing makes everything go together so much better. So you can hold it. And when I'm holding it in the sewing machine, I like to take my fingernails, it's useful to have fingernails, to hold down these ends with my fingernail as I slide it through the presser foot. You put your left hand on one side and then hold the tips like this when you run it through the machine. My first stitching around, I do it about 12 stitches per inch for the first time, just to get everything all flat. See how I'm holding everything down flat here, and then I'm using my fingernail, and it helps hold it down. And also go slow because you have a lot of bulk right here. And whenever you have bulk, there's a chance you could bend your needle, break your needle, or if you go too fast, especially if the stitches are small, then your thread might break. And that's the beauty of this machine, is I can go slow or fast. I like having that varying speed. Okay, now I can go faster down the side. Okay, put my needle down, bring up the foot. Now I gotta put this back into position. And this again, the ironing helps, and I'm not using any pins. I haven't punctured a hole in the interfacing, which works as a filter of sorts. It may not be the best filter, but it is somewhat of a filter. Okay, I'm holding it. Slow. Alright, now we finish. And when we're doing this last part, I guess that was the open side. It also closes it up where it was open before I turned it. Alright, now I want to go over it a second time. So this is where I'm going to change my stitch. This dial right here sets your stitch length. It's how many stitches per inch. 12 stitches per inch, 8 stitches per inch, 6. This is like for a basting stitch. Normally I sew between here or here. Now if you want a lot of stitches, this is a lot of stitches between the inch. So when I'm sewing over 1/8 inch, I'm going to put it right about there. But normally when I'm sewing the 1/4, I can just pretty much keep it right there. Because it's closer, it could break my thread. So I'm going to go slow, especially where I'm crossing the elastic or hairband. Then I can go a little wider in between. As I approach my elastic, I go a little closer together so my stitches are shorter to catch that elastic. And I want to make a second row of stitching, so I just take about 3. Guess what? My thread just broke because the stitches are so close. And I was stitching in the same place where I stitched before, so now I gotta fix my thread. Okay, back in business. Pivot my needle, and I'll do a second row of stitching between 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch. This way I'm catching my elastic again for the 3rd time. Actually the 4th time, because I don't know why I'm turning around, because I'm done that. One time I was doing this and I accidentally cut my elastic. I was so upset with myself that I got it all together and I had to do all of this top stitching. So you know what I did? I took my seam ripper and I opened it up. I took out all the stitches and I opened it up right there, and I did it on, opened it up just on these 2 sides, not the whole thing. And I just shoved the elastic in there, pinned it, and restitched it. Accidents do happen. I put together this whole mask without putting any pinholes in it. The only place it has holes, of course, is where the needle went in stitching on the outside edges. But the integrity of the mask in here is completely protected. There's no holes in it. That's why we use the non-woven interfacing. Now I don't know about putting a nose bridge on, but I suppose if I did do what I normally do, I'm stitching above the nose, so it'd only be right up here and not down here where the nose would be, so I think that would be okay. Okay, let's talk about elastics and different materials that are used. This is a hairband, which is elastic, 1/8 inch. I prefer 1/4 inch elastic is better. As we talk about the different types of elastic, the preferred elastic to use is a 1/4 inch. Now, I happen to be using a very soft elastic, that, is that the one I was using? Hold on, this one feels firmer. Feels firmer than the other ones. This one's got, oh yeah, see that one's really, really stretchy. This one's a little bit firmer. And then this one is kind of firm too. So each elastic has its own elasticity. And some are more stretchier than others. And I'm going to give you an example. Here's two pieces that are exactly the same length. I'm going to take this one and put it on tape measure and see how far it can stretch. Oh, it can stretch a lot. It can go all the way to 12 inches. All right. I'll take this 1/8 of an inch elastic. Okay, and let's see how far this one will go. Oh, it'll only go to 8.5. So this elastic does not have as much stretchability as the previous elastic. Don't just be hard-lined about, oh, it has to be 6 inches or it has to be 7 inches. No, you need to test it out. I was using this elastic for quite a while. I've been through 200 yards of it so far, and that's all gone. And then I had to switch to this kind, and the reason I have this is because Amazon didn't have the 1/4 inch available, and I would have a longer wait. So I ordered the 1/8 because it would get here sooner, and I'm worried I'm going to run out of it before I get some more of the 1/4 inch elastic. But when I was doing mask with this 6 inches, like I was using this worked great for 6 inches. But then I put on a mask that I made, and oh my goodness, it hurt. It was too tight. So when I use this elastic, I cut my elastic 7 inches, and that seems to work pretty good. It is important. Try it on and see what works. I only tried on that mask with a 6-inch elastic made out of this, and I had it on for just a few seconds. But my ears were bothering me after. I can understand how nurses would be complaining about that elastic bothering their ears if they have to wear elastic around their ears for a long time. A latest hairband has a metal grip right there. Just cut off that metal grip and have our two ends. Okay, what are the measurements of that? Well, that's 8 inches. Let me check its elasticity. Oh, it's quite stretchy. So I don't think I need 8 inches. I think I will cut it down to 6.5. I'm using the thin hairbands. I don't know that the thick ones will work. Well, I didn't think hairbands would work. I was afraid that when you cut it, it would just fray, but I guess it's no different than elastic, really. It just has a little bit more bulk to it, but it's easy to sew over, so it works. Sometimes we get mental blocks in our head and we say, oh, it can't be done. Well, that won't work. You know what? We don't know if it will work until we try. So sometimes we tell ourselves negative messages that are so useless. We tell ourselves it can't be done, and so we don't try. That's the bad thing about telling ourselves negative messages. The better thing to say is, well, let's give it a try. Now, my first attempt was very bad, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I actually put it on YouTube. I feel like I made a fool of myself, but and then reading comments, I learned from the comments. So people are using it. It is working. Well, I should give it another try. So I started using hairbands because my elastic supply is running out. I had to order more elastic. Where I went to buy my good supply, they're running short, and I was like, oh great, I gotta find another source. I better start using some examples that the people shared in the comments, because what if I run out of elastic? Run out. I'm actually getting a little bit nervous. I still have a lot of masks to sew, and I'm going to get, I might run out of elastic. I better get up to speed about using some of these other options. When you're doing the side where the elastic is, make sure that that elastic is not catching where you're actually sewing. You only want it to catch at the beginning and at the end. So kind of feel, with these thick hairbands, you can feel it easier. I haven't used the thick hairbands because I feel like they're too thick and they won't go over the ear as well. But again, I might have to try it instead of telling myself, no, it won't work, it can't work. So yes, you can use hairbands for the elastic. You just need to get the measurement right. This actually might be a tad bit big. Maybe I should have done 6 inches instead of 6.5. But do be careful when you're sewing over the edge, because this is not as wide as the 1/4 inch elastic. You have less surface to put stitches in, so that's a good time to use more stitches per inch, especially over the elastic. And then you can widen the stitches between and then go closer together there. And I think it's a good idea also to put a second row. That way you've got 2 rows of stitching covering the elastic, so you're holding the elastic here and there. When you're working with really thin elastic like 1/8 inch as opposed to a 1/4 inch, you have more surface with the 1/4 inch to sew, and it's a lot easier to work with. But the 1/8 inch, you don't have very much. If you have your stitches too big, you might only get 1 stitch in it. The needle might go down. It might go down on this side and in the middle and on this side, and you only get 1 stitch in it. So it's important to shorten the length of your stitches so that you can get several stitches, and to go over it several times, even in 2 places, would be good. I showed you how it's important to clip the corners, but what I forgot to show you is on your sides where you're going to be putting in the pleats, you're going to have extra bulk. So it's useful to also trim the interfacing on the ends so that you have less bulk. On the last mask I made, I bent my needle, so I had to throw away another needle. That hairband looks cute. It's got pink hearts on it. Thought that would be cute with the polka dot. Probably some teenage girl would love this mask if she's a girly girl. I don't know why that's even a term. What's wrong with a girly girl? There's nothing wrong with being a girly girl. I like being a woman. I like being feminine. I like feminine things. There's nothing wrong with that. Our society dumps on such an idea. I just had an aha moment. Okay, so I'm using whatever materials have been donated to me or what I can find for cheap. And I was using, this is bias, like quilt binding. It's like extra wide, and I've been cutting it in half. Well, when I cut my pieces, why not just sew across it, trim my edges first before cutting it? Duh! Why didn't I think of that before? That's what I call an aha moment. I'm going to improve upon my pipe cleaner folding, because I don't think I did a good job showing how to do it. Okay, I got this. I got 1, 2, 3 folds. As it comes around, I've got this long piece. I'm just going to start weaving this back and forth to help pull everything together. Okay, I didn't cover that one, so I'll go over this way. I'm just kind of weaving it to pull it all together. So it's kind of going this way, front to back, and then pull it kind of tight so it pulls it all together. Get that little end down there. Squeeze it together. Alright, let's test it. It slides in very nice. Now, how do you get it out? You can use something to kind of push it. All right, we'll push it this end. Okay, there it is. Got it. And it comes out. So you just have to have something like a pencil or something to get it in. But that's our nose bridge. So that's kind of cute with the little hearts on that. It goes nicely with that pink polka dot. Some girly girl will like that. I like it. So instead of taking my first idea of rejecting the idea of using a thick hairband, I'm going to make a mask with it and we shall see how it turns out. Instead of telling myself it's not going to work, I'm going to make one and we'll see how it feels. Test this out. I haven't tried this one on yet, but the large straps, I want to actually wear this to see. I'm going to wear it for a little while and see if these thick bands would be, oh, they're kind of bending my ears over a little bit. Oh goodness, they'll probably make my ears stick out. I don't think I like these, but I will wear them for a little while and test it out. It's important to test what we make to make sure it's going to be functional, because if it doesn't work good, what's the point of making it? So I cut out a 1-inch strip. Oops, let's get rid of that little rough edge there. From my husband's t-shirt, and I cut it lengthwise, you saw that, and then we just grab it both ends, stretch it, and it curls up and we have ties. I'm going to use those on a mask. That's pretty cool. That was a tip shared from one of the people who commented on my previous video. See, I'm learning from you. My t-shirt strips, and I went ahead and sewed them on. Now I just want to kind of bring them to the middle where my opening is going to be. Now I'll put this piece on. We turn inside out because I don't need this clip anymore. Well, they do look a little rough. There's a few odd places on it, but it definitely would work. It'd be a good little tie. Okay, so we have a mask with ties. Now the ends look a little funny, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie them out in the end to give them a little bit more of a finished edge. That's another option. Not the prettiest, but functional. So yeah, they work. They're extra long. With me, they'd get tangled up in my hair. But that is a good option. And I just want to say a word to all of you who have left wonderful comments on my channel. I mean, actual useful comments. I am learning alongside of all of you, and I'm learning from you, and I appreciate your tips. There's been a lot of really good comments made. I encourage those of you who are watching this to read the comments below the video, because there's a lot of good ideas, a lot of good tips, things I didn't think of, things I was unaware of, and just some really useful tips. Out of the really good comments, I try to give them a little heart so they show up at the top of the feed. So make sure you read the comments below the video. And I really appreciate how we're pulling together our ideas. Your ideas are inspiring my ideas. I'm trying things I hadn't done before because of your great ideas. Now, I want to say something to people who like to leave negative comments. Is it really necessary? Is it constructive? If you're going to leave a comment, make it useful, make it helpful. If you just want to come on and condemn and criticize and judge, what purpose does that serve? it serves no purpose. It's of no help. I mean, if it's constructive criticism, fine. That's great. That's helpful. But if it's just to judge and condemn a person that you don't even know, why? And why do people have to thumbs down a video? I mean, the only reason I would ever thumb down a video if it was truly, truly offensive, you know, like if it had pornography in it, if it had child abuse in it, if I thought it was hurtful, if I thought it was hateful. But just because you don't like a person, or you don't like one thing they said, or you don't like the quality of the video, that's not a reason to thumb down a video. I watched a guy's video that was pointed out to me the other day. It had poor lighting. He didn't have any sound. He didn't explain what he was doing. It was hard to see what he did. Did I thumbs down his video? No, I did not. And I wouldn't. He was trying to be useful. He was trying to be helpful. There was no reason for me to thumb it down just because it was not a very good video. So, come on, let's make this a better world. It starts with you and your actions. If you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. That's an old principle that we ought to live by. Be useful, be helpful. Don't be critical. Don't be full of judgment. Don't condemn a person that you don't even know. If you judge me on one video, on one statement that I made, you don't know me. Go back and watch about 10, 20 of my videos and see who I really am. And then you will see what kind of a person I am. And maybe you'll have a little bit of context of what I said instead of judging me because you don't like one little thing I said. Perhaps the problem is with you. You know, most of the time when people condemn another person, the problem is with themselves. And when they put down another person, they're revealing more about who they are, not about who the person they're judging. I'm sorry. A little rant there, but I just had to put that out there. But I do appreciate my viewers. I appreciate my subscribers. You are great people, and all you fellow sister mask makers, you're doing a great job. I'm glad that you're out there because I can't do this all by myself. I mean, goodness, I am swamped with orders, and I've sewn almost 400, and I've got another 100 more to go, and the orders are coming in every day for the request. It's a great need, and we're working together. We're all pitching in. We're all trying to help. I watch your videos. I like to see what other people are doing. I learn from you. You learn from me. We pull our ideas together, and we learn from each other. And that's what this community in YouTube is, how it's useful, how we can help one another, sharing ideas. Let's be constructive. Let's be helpful. Let's just put away the criticism and the thumbs down business. And by the way, give this video a thumbs up because you know what? It helps me. It helps my channel. It pushes my videos up on the Google algorithms if you give me a thumbs up because you found something of value in this video. So what have we learned today? Don't shoot down an idea until you've tried it. Try it. You might like it, or you might not. It might not be successful. Be open. Open for options. There's more than one way to do something, and we can learn from each other. And I appreciate your comments. Some of the things I've done today, I have done it because of you, because of your comments, and I appreciate those comments. So let's be positive. Let's be encouraging. Let's be helpful. Let's work together. Let's share our ideas so that we can all be much more productive and make this world a better place. Check out my other 2 videos. The first one I put out was sewing face masks without elastic. I show you some options there. And then my second video, which is sewing a mask to cover the N95. I like that one the best. And I really like, that's an upgrade from my previous video. I do have one more idea of making a pattern for a filter pocket mask. So I might do another video on that topic. And I just want to give a shout out to 2 people. Frank, don't worry, I will get your video posted. It's recorded. I just need time to edit it and put it together. Be patient. I'm still taking orders, and I'm still sewing masks, and that's the priority right now. So please don't bug me. And Melissa, hi. I know you're stalking me, so I just want to say hi and thanks. Thanks for pointing me in this direction. God bless you. Today's video is brought to you by the color pink and the letter Q and the number 17, inspired by Q. Let's make this world a better place, starting with you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up.